What is going on, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? My name is Prodigy, and welcome to our video on the channel. Today, guys, I want to talk about the role that Roxas might have in Kingdom Hearts Phase 2. Out of all the characters that we have currently in the Kingdom Hearts series who are just active and around doing stuff, aside from Sora, of course, but even including Sora, they all have roles, they all have story routes, arcs that they can go down, that the ending of Kingdom Hearts 3 or Melody of Memory set up pretty well, and Union Cross would even expand upon, giving us sources for theories and interactions we might see down the line that are pretty likely to happen for a lot of our Guardians. But when it comes to the Days trio, when it comes to that whole Twilight Town squad, I find them to be the hardest people to find roles for, mostly in Roxas and Xion. Sax and Lee do have Subject X, and Hayner, Pence, and Olette could very easily just help out Ansem the Wise and his apprentices, as I actually feel like they kind of filled out that role in Kingdom Hearts 3 pretty well while helping out Ienzo. So I could definitely see them like hanging around the Radiant Garden group a lot, just as a means to help Sora and their other friends. But Roxas and Xion, while they could be put in similar roles, just kind of helping out, they are doing that right now. As far as like where they align in a more clear story route, I guess it's a little difficult to figure out, because they are Keyblade wielders, similar to Lee, similar to the other Guardians, but unlike all the other Guardians, they don't really have clear things that I can easily say they're going to definitely be doing next saga, aside from just vaguely helping out Sora perhaps. Now, of course, while some of this is theorized, I do see it being very likely just based off of what we know about these characters and what it seems like they're trying to do with them. With Aqua and Kairi, they're going through a little training arc, it seems, mostly centered around Kairi, and Aqua and the Birth by Sleep trio, in my eyes, are likely going to be very involved in whatever storyline ends up happening off of Kingdom Hearts Union Cross, since Ventus's memories may come into play, and we may see a potential Ventus and Lauriam interaction in the future, and wherever Ventus goes, whatever Ventus is likely involved in, I can easily see the Birth by Sleep trio following behind them, and I could even see Kairi joining them on that sort of adventure to kind of train herself as well. And Kairi, on top of being involved in that just by being around the Birth by Sleep trio, we know Kairi's end goal is to want to join Riku and Sora in Quadratum in an attempt to save Sora. Mickey is exploring Scala Kylum, trying to find out more about the Keyblade Masters of old, the Keyblade Wielders of old. Donald and Goofy I'm not super concerned about. I mean, they're going to be involved regardless. They're probably just going to be everywhere. Like, they'll probably be involved with Ventus, they'll probably be involved a little bit with Mickey, but from what Jens had said, they're just relaying information about Riku and about like what everyone's supposed to be doing. So actually, maybe you might see Donald and Goofy with the Days trio. I don't know, that could be something. I have asked this question before about what Roxas might do in Phase 2. I've asked a lot of you guys in my Discord and in my community tabs and various occasions and in live streams, and a lot of you guys, similar to me, have trouble figuring out exactly what he might be able to do. I've definitely seen some crazy theories out there, but I have also seen another popular discussion about how Roxas and Xion should just be taking a break, and I'm a little mixed on that. Well, maybe not mixed, I definitely lean a little bit more towards one side, but I definitely understand why some people want them to take a break, because I mean, the trio had been through a lot, and Roxas overall, like, he didn't ask to be a Keyblade wielder, Xion didn't ask to be a Keyblade wielder, neither of them really asked to exist, really, and as soon as they were born, they were just being used, but they formed their own hearts, their own relationships, their own friendships, and they deserve to be their own people in the end. And now they are their own people, and I can understand that a lot of people kind of just want to see them happy and want to see them just, you know, chill and live out their life or whatever. But that's in a canonical sense. From the perspective of like playing the games, I would definitely love to play as Xion and Roxas. I mean, after playing Kingdom Hearts 3, I definitely see them making Roxas playable again in the future. He's a character in my head that without a doubt he's going to be a playable character again, because similar to Aqua, Square loves Roxas, the fans love Roxas, so Roxas is likely going to have a role in the future. future, even if it's not clear right now, he's going to have some sort of role, some sort of big involvement. He might even end up being one of the main characters. That's because he's like that popular in the series. And Xion might just follow behind him, but I would love for Xion to have her own little arc as well. But I do think there's a lot of value in them being like themselves now, being their own people, having their own hearts, being able to make their own choices. They've been through the big fight, and now they have a choice whether to fight for the people that saved them, or do they just want to not deal with any of that anymore. And I think even explaining or elaborating on that story has a lot of value in it, because even if they do decide, yeah, I just want to kind of chill and not get involved in too many big fights, that could be an arc by itself. That could be a story that's very interesting by itself. Well, maybe they're not in all the big fights like the Keyblade wielders are, fighting the foretellers, or finding out all this crazy stuff about Ventus and his origins, about Quadram, this parallel world. They just want to kind of chill. Why exactly is that? What led to that decision? How exactly do they feel about the other characters? Do they feel super grateful that like they saved them? Do they feel like they owe them something? Like, was their mind, their mental state kind of like being themselves now? Because I can imagine it's a pretty big jump from being a nobody or being called a puppet, literally being told you have no feelings, you don't exist, and seeing a bigger group trying to rip your friendships away, to now being your own person and having that freedom to choose. How different is it? What is it like? Is it overwhelming? Does it feel just normal? Like, there's a story there to tell for sure. And how does that affect other characters? How does that affect characters like Lee, who maybe does want to help? Or maybe if Xion's the only person that feels that way, how does that affect a person like Roxas, who really wants to help them? Although the Days trio are very close friends, they definitely have their fair share throughout the Days series, although artificially by the organization. They've had their fair share of disagreements and different points of views on things. All three of them are still very, very different characters and people. So how do their mindsets kind of conflict when they are in a situation where they have to fight again? Because if they're put in a situation where they do have to fight again, there will be less and less days like we saw in the Kingdom Hearts 3 ending, where they're sitting down and eating sea salt ice cream. So how does that affect them? I think the value of perspective from these characters, the value of perspective in the Kingdom Hearts series now after Kingdom Hearts 3, is one of the most interesting things. And I feel like that's something that the Master, that's something that the Foretellers are really pushing quite a bit in the next saga. It's something that's always been pushed in the Kingdom Hearts series, like different viewpoints on light versus darkness, right and wrong. Is Sora like good because he has light in him? Is he good because he just cares about his friends? What exactly makes Sora a good person? What exactly makes people stand behind Sora? That's been an ideology discussed a lot in the series. But when it comes down to the world itself and everything that has happened and how these characters will feel about all these events that end up getting pushed to the forefront, like Ventus being a potentially different character from what we previously thought he was, and we find out that he was part of a grand scheme by the Master, even hurt someone in the process, even though it wasn't on his own. He still was the vessel used to do it. Do the character's perspective on him shift and change and adjust? There is so much value in all of that. If Roxas and Xion do end up sitting on the sidelines, I would definitely find it a missed opportunity for potential interactions or just potential discussion, because I would love to still at least be updated at a minimum on how they feel, what they're doing. Because I love the Days trio. I love all of those characters, especially Xion and Roxas. But that's all I want to discuss today. I really want to hear what you guys have to think. I really want to hear if anyone has any like clear route they think Roxas might end up going down phase 2. I still think, regardless of how unclear it seems right now, that he will have a role in phase 2, a big one likely because of how popular he is. This is my belief. But if there is something more obvious for him that I'm missing out on, or for him or Xion, please, I would love to hear in the comment section down below. I want to get a little discussion going. annoying. But as usual, if you guys enjoyed today's video, you already know what to do. Leave a like, share the video with a friend or a family member, and last but not least, if you have not already and want to become a part of the union, all you have to do is hit that red subscribe button down below. My name is Prodigy, and I will talk to you guys soon. Peace out, you guys. Bye.
Now she's a daydreamer. She's always thinking about him. No more room in this picture for you to fit in. Now she's crying on the phone.